What's up YouTube, this is Boston X-Ray9, guys. Today I'm coming to you with my latest speed duel deck profile for June 2019. And guys, we got a hot one today. We are going to be doing my Skull Servant speed duel deck. I can tell you this right now, this deck is a complete change and paste from some of the other decks I've shown you for speed duels. This deck is much more of a grindy deck. It focuses on milling cards into the graveyard. And thanks to Attack from the Deep, we got one particular card that can really help us load our graveyard and even strip down your opponent's deck while we're doing it. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to get right into this. And of course, we can't run a Skull Servant deck without 3 copies of King of the Skull Servants. Alright, while this card's on the field, this card counts all the Skull Servants and King of the Skull Servants that are in your graveyard, and it gives it 1,000 attack for each one. So the maximum number of attack points you can get on this guy is going to be 5,000 attack. Pretty big for a monster, especially in speed duels. The really cool thing is this card is ever destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you could banish, or a card effect, excuse me, you could banish a Skull Servant or a King of Skull Servants from your graveyard to special summon it back to the field. I can tell you right now, because we're going to be focusing in on loading up the graveyard, it's going to take some time to get this guy up to full height. But I can tell you right now, usually if you can get to 3,000, you're in a pretty good place. Once you get 4, you're pretty much going to win the duel at that point. Alright. Next up, of course, we're going to have to run 3 copies of Skull Servant. Pretty simple. Alright. To help us get to the cards we need, 3 copies of Goblin Zombie. Alright, whenever this card is destroyed by battle and sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to search your deck with for a zombie monster with up to 1,000 defense or less, which is cool because all the monsters in this deck have lower than 1,000 defense. Alright, another cool thing is that you can actually get a free swing in with this guy and he inflicts battle damage. You can turn around and force your opponent to send the top card of the deck to the graveyard, which just helps the overall strategy of this deck as well. Alright, last but not least, I'm including 2 copies of Dragon Zombie. This is probably in there for a body. We need zombie bodies on the field to help protect our life points. We do play defense a lot, so having this guy in the deck helps out immensely. Okay? Only running 3 spells in this deck, and those are 3 copies of White Elven's Gift. We do have a lot of normal monsters. A lot of times I like in this card over Veil of Darkness, primarily because Veil of Darkness only really activates during your draw phase, which means you need a turn to set it up. This card you could actually use going second, or on later turns. This card really is dead in your hands thanks to the skill card we're using in this deck, which is just awesome. Typically, I usually hold, if I draw into multiples, I usually discard one for the skill and then save the other one for the follow-up turn in case I draw into a normal monster or in case I need to turn around and draw into more cards. Very handy. I typically don't use this on turn 1 primarily because you want to be turning around and keeping a body on the board just to protect your life points. Alright, for the traps, oh, these are good ones. 2 copies of Michizuri. Basically, whenever a monster on your side of the field hits the graveyard, you get to turn around and target one of your opponent's monsters, pop it, which is awesome. Alright. 2 copies of the Golden Apple. This is a very big staple card for this deck. Basically, whenever you take a direct attack, you activate this card. This card replenishes the life points you lose, and then it summons a token to your field with the exact amount of damage you've taken. So if you take a big attack from something like a Red Eyes or a Blue Eyes, you're going to get a token on the field that's either 2,400 or 3,000 attack and defense points, which is cool. Just keep it on the field, defense position. They're not going to be able to touch it or do anything. And then from there, you just slowly build up your resources so you can act, and your graveyard, so you can actually turn around and make a comeback. Alright, and last but not least, for the main deck, we have 2 copies of Windstorm of Edinburgh. This is pretty much a staple trap card. Forces all your opponent's face-up monsters into the opposite battle position that they have. And I can tell you right now, it can end battle phases really fast. Alright, so that's it for the main deck. 20 cards. For the skill, and this is the one thing that I love about this deck, is because this skill card really streamlines the deck. Viral Infection. Smug Kaiba has the best skills. I'm sorry, it's true. Alright? Basically, you can discard any number of cards from your hand to the graveyard, and then you call either a monster, spell, or trap. Alright? Your opponent then has to turn around and send any cards of the call type equal to the number of cards you sent to the graveyard. So if you turn around and say, send 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard and call traps, they gotta send 2 traps. Alright, you send 3 cards to the graveyard, you call spells, they gotta send 3 spells. You get the idea. The really cool thing about it is that after you use the skill, you flip it face down, which means you can use it again and again and again. It's a once per turn, for every single turn in the duel, and as long as you have cards in your hand, this card is live, which basically makes White Elephant's Gift very useful. Even more so. Because now you don't have a single dead card in your hand. All you gotta do is just turn around, get rid of it with the virus, and you weaken your opponent's deck. Alright guys, that is it for my Skull Servant Speed Duel deck for 2019. As always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe, enable notifications so you don't miss a single upload. Guys, check out the description box below. Find the invite link to my Discord. Join the conversation. We would love to have you. Check me out on Twitter. Post my videos there. Tend to turn around and post a lot of different memes and other Yu-Gi-Oh! Related stuff. So please check me out there at BystanderX79. And of course, guys, if you want to see me push my channel to greater heights, consider backing me on Patreon. The link is down in the description box as well. Alright? So guys, until next time, peace!